The Trump administration has intensified its effort to push undocumented migrants out of the United States, but not in the way one might ever expect. Instead of mass deportation, the government is going towards a different strategy: self-deportation. This approach relies on psychological pressure, legal hurdles, and technological surveillance to compel migrants to leave voluntarily, a phenomenon now being called reverse migration. Faced with an estimated 14 million undocumented immigrants in the US, the Trump administration has acknowledged the logistical and financial challenge of carrying out mass deportation. So, what's the solution? Make conditions so difficult that people choose to leave on their own. This method is being used through aggressive rioting, policy shift, and digital tools that facilitate voluntarily departure. One of the key elements of this strategy is the CBP Home app, a mobile application designed to allow individuals to register for self-deportation. The Department of Homeland Security has been actively promoting this particular tool, with officials describing it as an easy and efficient way, and that too for undocumented migrants to leave without legal consequences. The app's growing usage is now being cited as the evidence of the policy's success, though specific data remains scarce. The US officials claim that self-deportation rates have surged. In fact, Assistant Secretary of DHS for Public Affairs recently told one of the biggest media houses in the US that we are seeing sky-high levels of reverse migration. People are turning around at our southern border before even entering. However, no precise statistics were provided, leaving question about the future scale of this particular trend. But yes, despite the lack of official numbers, reports from various sources suggest that many undocumented individuals, specifically those facing visa issues or fear detention, are choosing to leave. Let me give you an example. One of the media houses highlighted the case of a Mexican woman who had lived in the US for 18 years and ultimately opted for self-deportation rather than risk detention. Similarly, a 22-year-old Cuban man named Eric chose to return home after learning that his humanitarian parole protection would soon be revoked. Now, this wave of voluntary departure is not happening in isolation. The administration's messaging has been clear. Leave now or we will find you and deport you. Images of migrants in detention centers in El Salvador's notorious prison has been widely circulated as cautionary tale. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem recently stood before the tattooed bodies of prisoners in one such facility, warning that if you do not leave, we will hunt you down, arrest you, and you could end up in the El Salvador prison. Adding to the pressure is the increased use of AI-driven surveillance. The US government has ramped up monitoring effort using artificial intelligence to scan social media profiles, financial records, and travel history. Migrants who are flagged may receive notification that their presence in the country is under scrutiny, prompting some to leave instantly just to avoid any legal consequences. In the meantime, immigration lawyers caution that self-deportation is not as straightforward as it seems. While leaving voluntarily might help individuals avoid detention, it comes with a significant legal penalty. Under US immigration law, those who self-deport are typically barred from applying to re-enter for up to 10 years. A waiver can be requested, but obtaining one is extremely difficult. An immigration attorney says that migrants should think carefully before opting for voluntary departure. It may sound like an easy way out, but many will face a long ban from returning to the US, making it almost impossible to reunite with family or seek legal status in near future. As Trump's administration continues its crackdown, self-deportation may become an increasingly common outcome for undocumented migrants. With growing fears of detention, loss of legal status, and AI-driven tracking, many individuals are choosing to leave rather than face an uncertain future. However, the long-term implications of these policies, both migrants and for American economy, remains to be seen. For now, message from the Trump administration is clear: leave while you can, or be forced out later. However, this approach will lead to a significant reduction in undocumented migration or simply push vulnerable communities further into the shadows in a question that will define the next chapter of the US immigration policy.